What's up, guys? Neil Orfield here, taking a look at the Stokastic NFL DFS lineup generator for Thursday Night Football on FanDuel. I made another video already for DraftKings lineups. If you're interested in looking at those, that's another video on this channel. In this video, I'll be looking at FanDuel. While you're coming in, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and hit that notification button so you can get alerts when our shows go live. If you haven't already checked out the lineup generator, it is $14.95 per week. You're going to get DraftKings main slate, FanDuel main slate, showdowns for every primetime game, all of that included for just $14.95 per week. And every lineup you get here is going to be a long-term profitable lineup. They've been run through the Stokastic Sims. Any lineup that was not long-term profitable has been thrown out. So you're only getting the good stuff here. Let's take a look at some FanDuel single game lineups. And by the way, the link is in the description of this video if you want to sign up for the lineup generator. All right, I just did this on the DraftKings video, testing out, looking at some chalky lineups. I don't know if it's as good an idea on FanDuel. I already have trouble finding lineups on FanDuel that are not duplicated a ton because you only get 5 players in there. But let's try it. Let's try some chalky lineups on FanDuel and see if we can find any that maybe won't be duplicated a ton. For the projections, I'm just going to use standard projections here on Showdown Slates. You can choose different game scripts if you want to. So if you want to specify, I think a game is going to go a certain way. Really cool feature here. It really is. I just don't use it. I just use the standard projections, but I do think this is a great feature if you have any kind of feel for how you think the game is going to go. Again, though, I'm just going to use standard projections. All right. And the first place I'm going to look, I'm just going to keep saving until I get to lineups that are leaving at least 1,500 on the table. Because we're in the chalky lineup field, we're not going to get a ton of players. We do have low-owned Khalil Shakir here, but we're not going to get a ton of really low-owned players in these chalky lineups. So for these ones, I'm going to make sure I'm leaving at least 1,500 on the table. So that's going to be the first place I start here. All right, here we go right away. Here's a lineup that is leaving exactly 1,500 on the table. This lineup has Josh Allen in the MVP spot with only Latavius Murray as a pass catcher, and not a big part of the passing game there for Latavius Murray. So a slight concern there because Josh Allen's rushing is down a bit this year. He's known as and typically has been an elite rushing quarterback, but he is rushing a lot less this year than he has in past years. He's down to like 21, 22 rushing yards per game, something like that. Way down from, I think it was 48 last year. So the rushing is way down this year for Josh Allen. He kind of signaled that this summer that he didn't want to be running quite as much. So don't love having Josh Allen with just one pass catcher, but on FanDuel, it is viable. It's only half point per reception. So, the receiver doesn't get as many points more than the quarterback per play. And certainly with Stephon Diggs being pretty expensive, I think that there are ways for, Diggs to help Allen score some points. Allen can still run. So there are ways for Allen to rack up fantasy points without bringing anybody along with him. And here we do have Latavius Murray too. So say one, passing touchdown goes to Latavius Murray, that obviously helps Josh Allen to be the optimal MVP. So I do think that it's fine. It's not my favorite thing to have Josh Allen with just Latavius Murray in the flex, but I do think that it is viable. We also have Baker Mayfield here with Devin Tompkins and Mike Evans. That looks good to me. So I think in this lineup, we're hoping, a lot of scoring here, but then Allen maybe doing a little bit more damage with his legs. But it's leaving 1,500 on the table. We do have a low-owned Devin Tompkins. I think that there are enough uniqueness factors here that this lineup probably won't be duplicated a ton. So I think this is a lineup that I would use on FanDuel. All right, this one only leaving 500. 1,000. All right, we're leaving 2,000 on the table with this lineup, and I like this one better. So we have Josh Allen in the MVP spot. We still have Latavius Murray in there, but now we have another primary pass catcher in Dalton Kincaid taking on a bigger role with no Dawson Knox this week. And then we have Mike Evans and Rachaad White from the Bucs. I think this lineup looks totally viable to me. We're leaving 2,000 on the table, so it's probably not going to be duplicated a ton. I like it. I like this lineup quite a bit. So we can find lineups that look like they're not going to be duplicated a ton in the chalky bucket as well. And I want to be clear, my analysis all revolves around large field GPPs. So a lot of this analysis where I'm trying to get unique and leave salary on the table, you don't necessarily need to do that in smaller field contests, certainly not in like a cash game type setting, but in large field GPPs, I'm trying not to be duplicated a ton. So that is where I'm focusing my analysis for finding lineups that I like. So this one, leaving 2,000 on the table, I like it. Let's see if we can find one more. Not going to use one using the full salary cap, another one using full salary. All right, here we go. We've got Josh Allen, and his only pass catcher here is Latavius Murray. But then we've got the Bills defense and Tyler Bass, the kicker, along with him on the Bills. So this one definitely looks like a lineup that would work out better if Allen is doing a lot of damage on the ground. Maybe throws a touchdown to Stephon Diggs, but Diggs doesn't do a ton else. And then, maybe the Bills defense scores a touchdown. Probably a low scoring game is what we need here with Josh Allen doing damage on the ground. I do think that this is a viable lineup, though. We're leaving 4,000 on the table, so it's not going to be duplicated a ton. I think it's a viable lineup. I don't like it as much as the last one because you really are asking for a very specific low scoring game script here, a lot on the ground. But I think that it could work out. And we got, Rashad White on the bring back for the Bucks as well. So this looks like a, really slog kind of a game, but it could work out. I think that this is a lineup that I would use, and it looks like it'll be pretty unique, leaving 4,000 on the table. Okay, so we found 3 lineups that I would play in the chalky buckets. Like to see that. I'm going to go through and save lineups just to see what our exposures look like at the end, who are some of the better plays on FanDuel. All right, so our highest exposed player by far, Josh Allen. And by the way, you can disregard the MVP thing here. That it's including that it's calling him the MVP, but this is him, Josh Allen, in both the MVP and the flex. So this is just something that we are updating currently. Just ignore the MVP position there. We're just getting to 92% overall Josh Allen in our lineups. We're getting to 46% Stephon Diggs, the 2 highest projected players on the slate. Not a huge shock there. 41% Baker Mayfield, 33% Rashad White, 33% Latavius Murray, taking on a bigger role with Damian Harris out, and he's just 7,000. Latavius Murray is going to look great here. Mike Evans at 14K, pretty expensive, but we're still getting to 33% there. No big shocks among our highest exposed players. Khalil Shakir, 15%, sort of interesting. He's just 6.5K though, and maybe taking on a bigger role with Dawson Knox and Quentin Morris out. So not any really huge shocks here. Looks like a nice set of lineups. All right, hit that like button, please. If you have not already done so, I would appreciate it. Good luck tonight.